Okay, well, hi, good morning. My name is Catherine. Welcome back to Information Slips. Um, it started recording on its own, so but I'm going to do today a little bit different. For the past few weeks, I've been um, sharing with you the revelation that the Mother has been giving me, Barbella has been giving me on the biblical text I've been reading. I've been reading about the garden, and I have allowed myself to see things from a different manner, right? I've allowed myself to see the humanity in it, in the biblical, in the text. So, in doing that, it's exposed quite a bit, and stuff made sense because it's just like, yeah, that makes sense. But whenever you get some of this knowledge, the knowledge of the good and the knowledge of the evil, um, it gets it kind of, although it's light, it darkens stuff a bit because it's just like, okay, well, now what do I do with this information? How do I protect myself? How do I go about this? What are we supposed to go with this? How to do with this? Um, and each person's experience is going to be different. So I've gone through what I've been able to pull from it, and you've watched me actively learn how to control what I'm gathering, what I'm getting, the revelations I'm getting from all of it. Even stepping into the position of ministering for, Barbello, it's not something I would have expected to do. It's something to adjust to. And then you feel like whenever you're doing something like this, you want to ensure that you're doing it properly. So like for me, I would have loved to be able to be well versed in this stuff before I even started speaking on it, but it's just like, no, what you have right now, what you needed me to know is that what I have right now is exactly what I need to do what I need. So over the course of however long I'm going to be doing this, you're going to see me progressively get better, do better, learn more. But I wanted to be sure that I also brought the spiritual aspect to the knowledge that's there. From the way that Barbella wants me to help you understand. Um, and that's gonna bring the light back to it, like a different light to it. Like it is here, it's real, it's happened, but now you have a different light to it. The that keeps you having hope, courage, faith in the Mother Creator and the Father Creator. Like it keeps you having faith in the good of things. So what I'm gonna do, like I usually do, I'm gonna go ahead and pray. I'm sorry if my lipstick is down on my lip a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and pray, and then I'm going to just speak from where I'm at in, because I'm actively being qualified to do this. I don't. So, in Barbella's name, I want to thank you for waking us up this morning. Thank you for being who you are, being the light that you are. I appreciate that you help expose things for its truth and its honesty, and giving us the chance to actually choose which way we want to go, and bringing the light back to the knowledge that is here. So we know that there's more happening behind the scenes than it is that we can see of. And I really appreciate that you are fighting for the good. I appreciate that the Father is fighting for the good, and that you both want us all to know the truth behind it all, and to then bring in the light behind it, because there's nothing wrong with the information. It's just, okay, well, now how do you prepare yourself, and then what can you use that's been put out for us. So I want to thank you for all that you have done, will do, and are doing. I pray you help me with any nerves I might have today, and to get this message out as easy as possible. And I pray that you continue to help me work on myself, to have confidence in what you've called me to do and to be, because again, it's a foreign territory for me. So I pray that we get the beauty in it today. I pray that in Barbella's name, Sula. So I'm going to be posting this one outside of just my YouTube, because I really love the fact that before all of this really started, I love being able to speak life into people, and help them get through certain situations. Like, I don't want to fix your situation, but I want to be able to help speak life into it, because you never know what anybody is going through. So I'm going to just speak literally from from what I get from what I do in this moment of I got some notes on how I want to stay with it, but it's just like I'm not trying to overextend it. It shouldn't be long, but then again, wherever she lead me to, that's where I'm following. So on my channel, I've been talking about the Garden of Eden. I've been talking about Adam. I've been talking about Barbello. I've been talking about Eve. Okay. I've also been talking about Yahweh. Okay. On there, like I said, I am big on identifying each being for itself. Like, you need to be able to identify it so you can track this being, so you know what you're following across the board. Okay. And the being, there's going to be good in it, there's going to be bad in it, and then you got to figure out, okay, well, now that I have this knowledge or whatever I might have gotten from this, like, is what she's speaking on the truth, right? Are you going to allow yourself to be open up to a different revelation of what's happening in the garden and what's happened, before the garden, right? So like I said, you can go on my YouTube, you can go look at the past 3-4, I think, videos I have posted up there, and it should, catch you up on, what I was talking about, and hopefully, like I said, bring the awareness to. But if you're going to look at myself, just understand your mind has to be open to question. You're going to have to be willing to be like, well, is this a possibility? You need to be able to ask if this is a possibility, because if it's not a possibility, right, you're going to be like, oh, you're just talking bad. I'm literally not. Right? There's no need for me to sit here and talk bad if I'm talking the truth. And if we get revelations from the mother of what's being done and said, I don't have a need to sit here and lie on anything. Okay? I have no need, right? I'm just doing what I'm being told to do, being led to do. And I'm going to keep going from that point on. So if you want to go look at stuff, that's fantastic. Hopefully it gets you to start questioning and asking questions and having a different outlook on reality in itself. But I want to bring the spiritual side, her spiritual side to it, because in the garden, I was telling you how Adam and Eve is the mother and father, creator and creatrix, right? That's their human form, right? But they were also already established in the heavens prior to, okay? Barbello and Adam were already established, right? So you got them having their plan at work. No matter what, it's at work, right? It's been at work. How long has it been at work? Since the beginning of time. It doesn't matter how much bad it looks like is out there. They know exactly what's been going on from the jump. And they have allowed it to happen because there's a divine plan at work, and things have to process the way they need to process, right? So, with them having stuff in order, you'll see how, although they were in their positions here, they allowed themselves to take on this form here. For what reason? This is what we're going to discover as to how important this flesh here is, and why the mother and father would sacrifice themselves for such a flesh that is always told is so sinful, right? We're always told that how this flesh is always so sinful, or how it's always so bad, how is this, that, and that. No, they sacrifice themselves for this flesh for some reason, and it's our job to discover what the importance of it is, right? They both have chosen to bless it. They both have chosen to take on the initial hits of it. So in hearing that, hey, Barbello, and like we saw saying before, Barbello's in it, then you'll see Barbello's avatar. Her first earthly body would be Eve, right? And then you have Adam. He's the father creator. His first avatar would be man, which would be the second Adam. Okay, so there would be Adam and Eve in the garden being created by Yahweh, right? Yahweh created a different flesh for them, right? So their higher selves is in a different flesh at a different, frequency regulation, stuff like that. But now they have a form here, right? And they have a plan. And the plan starts with them. The plan starts with them. Okay? So they're going to take on so many hits. But understand, the Father and the Mother Creator has been here the entire time, ensuring to have the light shown for its people, because we are not just some random beings that's not worthy of anything. No, that's not it. They're not about to sit here and allow you to continue to think that way anyway. In the garden, I was talking about how the tree of the knowledge of good and evil is actually the tree of knowledge of good and evil is actually the knowledge of the gods, right? So whenever it comes, when you now see it as the knowledge of the gods, you then see it as in an aspect of, okay, well then there's multiple gods in heaven. Or you just have the identity of it, right? Either way, there's things happening here we're not aware of, right? So their main thing is to ensure that when we get to this level here, we're able to they give us what we need to get through it. And in this realm here, it's a war realm. You have your good and you have your evil. It already says it, right? So there's going to be a divine plan. Like I was saying also, the evil has the knowledge of a divine plan, and the Mother and Father Creator has a divine plan that's processed in time properly, right? So they have a knowledge of one, but then you have the one that's processed in time. Which divine plan are you about to believe in? Because one is for the kingdom of darkness and one's for the kingdom of light. And it's up to you which one you have more faith in. Because the kingdom of darkness, they're going to stand for their kingdom. Just like the kingdom of light should stand for their kingdom. Right? You should have the same ego they have over here to say, we can defeat the Creator and Creatrix. No, you cannot, and you know you can't. Right? You're convinced. You're convinced you can, but you can't. But you have faith in what you have faith in. We're going to have faith in what we have faith in, right? So two different worlds happening constantly at war, at battle, or whatever. The Mother and Father make sure you have what you need to ensure that you are able to defeat the kingdom of darkness. Because the kingdom of darkness is always plotting and planning. Always. They're not going to not do it. Why? Because our business is what they need. Right? They're going to always be in our business. Always. They're not going to not be in our business. Why? Because it's a threat to their kingdom. Why is it a threat to their kingdom? Because it's the truth. It's the truth. Okay? So, what the mother wants to be able to do is to ensure her people are not in ignorance. Okay? You can now know the knowledge of the good and evil, but understand. Bring it back to the good. You can have the knowledge of the evil as in you just literally have, like, I'm aware you're there. I'm prepared for you. Right? I'm aware you're there. I'm prepared for you. I know how to, defend myself one way or another. But I'm not paying you that much attention where you got my energy up. I'm not paying you that much attention, right? Because I got everything else that is already been established over here, handling whatever needs to be handled on the backside. I'm not pressed about that, right? But the kingdom of darkness is always going to be in your business trying to figure out your plans. Always. Right? Because if they can't get rid of it, if they were the actual creators, you wouldn't exist. I'm going to tell you that. Good would not exist. It wouldn't be no point of it. But they're not. So they know they got to use this side for as much as possible to keep this side over here running. Right? But I wanted to help people understand, like in the garden, Eve gained the knowledge of the good and evil. Please go back and look at my videos because I'm not going to overly explain it again. Eve had the knowledge of the good and evil, but what it was is the knowledge of the gods. She had the knowledge of the gods, whether that had been an identity of the gods or she had the actual knowledge of the gods, right? She had that knowledge of the gods. She then followed instructions from Barbello. The instructions was to take the fruit and or from the tree, which might be a book, right? Please go look at myself. Take this fruit, take this knowledge and give it to Adam. So he will not be in ignorance on what's happening right here, right now. So Eve then gave Adam that fruit, that knowledge. Adam is now awakened to the knowledge of the gods. Right? So now you're aware of this realm here, but then you're aware of there's a whole different realm above you. So you're thinking, oh, this is it. No, you got this up here. Right? You got this, there's going up here, and there's good and there's evil. Well, why would that be? This is where this is where we're going with it, okay? This is where we're going with it. So when Eve and Adam find out, hey, the creator, our creator, because their creator then would have been Yahweh. Our creator might be evil, or he's not the God he said he is. Right? They would have been upset because it's just like, okay, Barbello, Adam, why would you not get us out of the situation? Why would you allow this to happen? And this would have been their higher selves. Eve's higher self would have been Barbello. Adam's man's higher self would have been Adam. There's two Adams, but again, go look at my stuff. There's two Adams. So they would have been scared because, hey, there's something, you see there's something going on, but you're not stopping it. And they're not going to stop it right now. Why? Because their plan has to process in time. Okay? So we will be seeing Adam and Eve, which is the mother and the father creator, okay, now having to have faith in themselves because they now know, hey, they have the knowledge of the gods, right? Something's not right. They now have that knowledge of the gods. And they need to have faith in it because it's just like, well, whatever you got planned, I'm just going to have to go with it. Because we can't stop it. And you telling me to just be still. Prepare for whatever else is coming forward. Okay? And that's hard to take in sometimes, especially when you know the truth. When you know the truth, it's just like, well, why can't you come fix this right now? Because it's not time. And they will not move until it's time. This is one thing. This is the thing. That's why I say, I feel blessed to be able to really have a chance to get to know her and understand everything. Barbello, she is an all-knowing being, right? She's the creatrix. She's the creator of all this, right? As much as this wall is here, I want you to think of the darkness in space. That's her, right? It never ends. Never. Okay? Then you have here, I don't know where I was going with that. The Father Creator. Okay, the Father Creator is also all-knowing, but we do understand the feminine, the women have a higher spiritual intuition, instinct, whatever it may be called, in mind. So he is all-knowing, but he also knows and respects that Barbello is the creator of all. She's the creatrix of all, but he is also the Father Creator, which doesn't make him any less. It's an equal to, but it's just a matter of respect. Okay? Life comes from us, right? Okay? And he's sure enough in himself where he doesn't have to, well, I'm a man. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I agreed with you, right? So, knowing that they're both all knowing, and knowing that now you have the mother aspect coming to this text, the mother's revelation coming to this text. Now you can see things a bit more different, and you have to be open to the fact that she's going to give you the knowledge that's there. And you might not like what you hear and or see. That doesn't mean there isn't some particular reason why it was allowed. Right? It was allowed for a reason. And this is where your faith has to step in. In those moments where things are allowed and you're just like, well, you should come change this, you shouldn't allow this. You don't know what I know. And at the right time, it will happen. But right now, I need you to go ahead and get through it. And I will walk you through it. I will prepare you for it. I will make sure you have the tools for it. I will make sure everything is in place. Okay? So whenever you see it like this, but that way, it's just like, because then you feel like, I can't handle it. I can't do nothing about this. That's too much pressure on me. Okay, then give it over to the mother and father, right? Give it over to them. Okay? You have to trust in a divine plan. Right? You have to trust in a good divine plan. Right? You can't sit there and just be like, oh, well, evil has control. It does not. It does not. And if you keep having faith in them, then you're worshiping their kingdom. Going on over there. But if you have faith over this way, you better take your time and worship over here. Because this side over here processes time properly. Right? You can get the knowledge, you get scared. No, it's been revealed to you. Take this knowledge now and bring it back to the kingdom of light. If you have this knowledge, which would be considered, dark or whatever, take this knowledge now and bring it back over here so you can get a different light and understanding of this knowledge. Okay? Whenever you hear that, oh, well, Yahweh might have been doing something evil, or you see his humanity or whatever, it's just like, okay, well, how is that how are we supposed to bring any kind of light to that? I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just learning the aspect of it, all of it anyway. I just know that Christ did happen. Right? I know Christ did happen. And his sacrifice was not for nothing. Right? So I'm going to trust in the Christ and what it has already given us power and authority over. I'm going to trust in that. And I was also saying how Mother Mary was also Barbella's avatar, right? So, when you think of the Mother Creatrix, she created herself. That's just what she does. But she birthed Christ, right? Go look that up. She birthed Christ. So you trust in Christ, in the power and authority that has been given to you, and what was being done, and everything else in between. So that is not true. That's true. It happened, right? And you have the power and authority that is given to you, right? You do understand that there is a good Heavenly Father, which has given you power and authority over quite a bit. But if you don't know how to fight with it, and you don't know how to call on it, you're going to be out here just figuring out like, oh, I got to figure out myself. You don't, right? So he has made sure that you have angels waiting to help you carry out his plan, whatever needs you may have for your higher good. Now, this doesn't mean it's always going to be easy. This doesn't mean it's always going to be light. It does not mean that, because things are still very much going to happen. But it does mean you have help spiritually on the things you feel like, oh, this is too much for me to take in. You got it. They're in control. If nothing else, they're in control. So you have angels that can help you. And I was trying to figure out, okay, well, Barbella, I haven't heard about you prior to this, and especially not when it comes to the Bible. Like, what do you mean? Now, I tied her to the Bible, or she revealed herself, put it like that. She revealed herself to me in the Bible in the aspect of, I think it's she, I think that's the part of it. It's in Genesis, I believe, 1:27. I think that might be the right portion. But it was talking about she's an androgynous spirit. So she is masculine and feminine, because of course the creator would have to be that. Excuse me. So she would take it in a concept of, I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm gonna get it right. Her angels. Okay. So I was trying to figure out, okay, well, Barbella, where are your angels at? And she was talking to me over the course of time how she would say, my angels are on the earth. She has earth angels. She has earth angels. So just because you didn't know about her doesn't mean she hasn't been fighting and establishing her church here at all. She very much has, and has been doing it since the very beginning. Right? It is very well established. So you don't have to know about her, but you can't sit here and act like life does not exist without a woman. Okay? And she's been fighting for the kingdom of light this entire time, whether she's been still or not. Understand, she has earth angels, right? And that also comes with spiritual warfare when it comes to this. So now, honestly, in the garden, Eve and Adam are now facing spiritual warfare. I was talking about how there's now angels in the garden, but then you're also listening to how the serpent is talking in the garden, right? You're now listening to how the different gods are talking in the garden. You can see the spiritual warfare at work because it's being orchestrated, right? It's being orchestrated, right? And they might have had some knowledge, but they were also new to this flesh. So their emotions were extremely intense, no matter what. Like I said, they needed faith in the garden because they knew the reality of the situation. And it's sometimes when you get the knowledge of stuff, it makes it dark. And it's just like, okay, well, instead of it going dark, let's bring light to it again. Because it's there. It just is what it is. Let's fix this, right? And not just some random light. No, let's bring actual light to it. So, like I said, although Barbella and Adam allowed Adam and Eve to then go through the pains of being here when it's first being established and handled or whatever. They were also establishing their churches anyway. They were establishing their kingdoms anyway. They didn't sacrifice themselves for nothing. There's something here. And they want you to know how valuable you are. Right? And they've given you the tools to fight against it. They've given you angels. Right? So now you know you got heavenly angels. You now know you got earthly angels here. And then you know you're going to have also enemies. What enemies are you going to have? You're going to have the kingdom of darkness in your damn business. Excuse me. This is why I say, you want me to be in church? But they're going to be all up in your business. Right? Being annoying. So this is the thing. You got two kingdoms at war here at all times. It doesn't matter. It's a part of life. Right? You got two kingdoms irritating the mess out of each other because they both exist against the other's wishes. Like, I really hate you and I wish you never actually existed, but we all do. So since we all exist, we might as well learn how to fight. We might as well be aware of each other. It just is what it is. I hate you just as much as you hate me. Right? You got all this arrogance and pride over here. I'm about to have my confidence and ego over on this way. Because I'm about to be real sure in the divine plan that's happening. Right? Because if the enemy does nothing else, it's going to make sure you feel less than. Make sure that you cannot handle it. Make sure that it can get in your ear any kind of way to make you feel less than. To make you feel like, oh, you don't have any strength. Oh, if you do get near this kind of a person, you're going to experience a lot of warfare. Baby, let me tell you something. Anyway, anything that's for the kingdom of light is always going to have to combat the kingdom of darkness. That spiritual warfare is period. Right? And you've been given the text you need to get past it. And now you have the identities of who can help you in their divine plan. Right? So now you're connected exactly where you need to be connected to. And then you're learning how to use their resources. You have resources out here. Use your angels. And whenever it comes to your angels, something I absolutely adored that I was doing prior to was that I was praying to my angels. I'm not praying to them. I was praying for them. I would pray for my angels. I would pray for their healing because they're also beings. Right? They're also beings. You think of angels like, oh, they don't have any feelings. Yes, they do. Yes, they very much do. Pray for their healing. Pray for their protection. Pray that they continue to see the light. Pray for them to easily defeat anything that may come up against them. Pray for them. Like, intercede on their behalf. Encourage them. Get to know them. Get to know what they have to offer for you there. That's why they are there. They're meant to help you operate and not worry about this stuff on the background. Because like I said, the darkness is going to be doing what they're going to do anyway. They're going to mind your business. They're going to always mind your business. All right? They just there. Like I said, irritant on both sides. You piss me off. Again. She working on me. She working on me. But they over there, they're gonna have their plans, they're gonna have their whatever they're gonna do, whatever. It doesn't matter, right? They're always going to be figuring out some way to harm or to stop the kingdom of light and convince them that, oh, you don't have any power. Okay, I can take that knowledge and accept it. That's okay. That's fine, right? But over here, I'm going to focus on the fact that we are the kingdom of light and we have our own divine plan at work right here. So if I can carry out what's over here and know that this stuff is getting handled over here and know that I got literal help on how to get past most of this stuff where I can now walk in my confidence, my authority, my power, I'm not pressed about it. So now when you get to know your angels and you now put them to work, because that's what they're going to do. They love what they do, right? They love what they do. They're going to go actively fight for you to bring forth what needs to be brought forth for this plan, period. Right? So you pray for your angels. Then for your earth angels, and this is something fairly new to me. When people say earth angels, so they think, oh, you're just so sweet or you're just kind or whatever. That is true. But also understand your earth angels are going through stuff. Right? These are beings going through stuff who don't mind doing stuff out the kindness of their heart. They don't mind, but they are also very much going through stuff, and they need you to intercede on their behalf. Rather, you will never know your earth angel until you come across them. Right? And Barbello says it, and I love this so much. My angels are here on earth. So you don't know who could help you at any time. You wouldn't know this person. So you're praying for your earth angel, and you didn't help heal whatever situation they are in, and you don't even know who they are, simply because you are praying for your earth angels victory, just because you're praying for your earth angels protection, just because you're praying over whatever they might be going through, just because you're praying over how they can come in and to help you in your life, and then you are also an earth angel. How can you go help them? You don't know what you can do, whether it be a few words or whatever the case may be. You never know who you're blessing. And the enemy wants you to always think that, oh, you are not good enough. How could you ever deem yourself an angel? Be kind. You see somebody need help, be kind. And don't do it just because it's like, oh, I could possibly get something back. No, there's no guarantee you get anything back from it. There is no guarantee you would do anything back for it. So if you give something to somebody out of the kindness of your heart, you now release that blessing completely from you. You have no clue if it'll ever come back. And you should be okay with that because you gave it for the blessing from your heart. Right? Now, if you wanted something back, that's something you need to be talking to Barbello and the Father with. That's what you need to be doing. Right? But if you're feeling led to do something for somebody, if you're feeling led to even just pray for somebody, don't underestimate the power of your prayer, right? Pray for your earth angels, because interceding heals and directs things a whole different way for people you may not know. And it's more of a blessing than you could ever imagine, right? It's more of a blessing than you could ever imagine. So understand everybody's facing some spiritual warfare, and the spiritual warfare is going to look like mind games. Like you're going to sabotage. It doesn't matter, right? If anything, the enemy wants you to believe like, oh, well, being around, doing something for someone in any manner is going to bring you more trouble. Being kind to somebody is about to bring you more trouble. Wouldn't the mother and father have things prepared for you because they knew you was about to help? In some shape or form, right? You have to be able to identify what's your voice and what's not your voice. Okay? If you know that you seen and was for the good early on, you should know that the same kind of protection you had before, you will have then. And I know, learning about, Barbello and hearing, Adam's name in that manner and Eve and all that stuff, it sounds odd because you're used to having things so generalized and definitely not in a feminine aspect, especially in the biblical text. That's just like, well, what are you talking about? Well, why would you never question that as to where the feminine would be, where the mother would be in this? Why does it now feel like something's bad going to happen if you accept the idea of there being a mother? Do you not think she's working for the kingdom of light? Or do you want to accept that, hey, this all might just be evil? To each his own. But I want to have the kind of faith that even Adam had in the garden. Because it's having faith in reality. And then the things you can't see. You're having faith in the good. Right? You know what's here. You can't take it back once you know it. But are you going to sit here and succumb to this knowledge, or you're going to control the knowledge? Right? The mother and father wants you to control the knowledge, not succumb to it, not be controlled by it. Right? Get control over it. Once you have control over this now, I'm going to show you how to operate with it, how to use it. Understand they have given you all the tools you need to get through. So if you are called to do something, do it. Right? They're gonna have the grace. They're gonna grace you for it. They're gonna prepare the way for you. That's why I say when it comes to me doing this, you sure? Because as you see my slip up earlier, I can't promise it's gonna be anything, and I'm not about to sit here and do things the way that I see everybody else doing. I can't, because I just got to myself, and now I have to close that down. No, I love myself. And it's not trying to be disrespectful in any manner. It's just, I've never felt this kind of love for myself, in control for myself, and especially with what I've already experienced. I'm not giving that up, right? We should be able to work together, and I can learn from you, and then you learn, you sure? But I'm just like, honestly, the main thing about all of this is, please understand the mother and father has it under control. Right? And this is theirs. Right? They wouldn't be the mother and father creator if they didn't have things happening and they allowed it to happen. Right? So I'm going to choose to look to the good. I'm going to choose to try to have and learn to have Eve and Adam's faith, right? Because even after they got the knowledge of this stuff, they didn't go back to what they were thinking before. You can't go back to it. You can't go back to it. So what do? You move forward with this knowledge, and you continue to listen to what the mother and father is telling you, right? Understand they are preparing you. They're going to make sure it's prepared. You might not like the way it's going to go all the time. You will not. You might not know the fullness of the plan, right? But you do have to be sure that, hey, they have it in control. So whenever something feels like it's too big for you, whenever something feels like, hey, you should come fix this, their ways are not our ways, right? Their ways are not our ways. So it's just like, we want to co-create with you. And I think that's a beautiful part about it. Being able to feel bold enough to have standards and boundaries with the mother and the father. Because I'm not giving up my will anymore. I'm not only doing things a certain way. I'm not conforming to the way things should be, when I know I can still very much get the message. Like, I'm going to, if anything needs to be changed, don't get me wrong, it needs to be changed. But it's still also like, I am important enough to have control over myself. And that's the beauty of being with Barbello, is the fact that she has built me up to understand, like, hey, if I want you to see yourself as an equal to me, like, understand who I am, don't get me wrong. Understand who she is. But I need you to see yourself as an equal to me. Right? So we can co-create together, because I'm not trying to overtake you. I'm not trying to overdo it. No. But whenever something needs to be done, it needs to be done. You're going to understand when I need you to do it. Right? But I need you to also feel equal to then understand what the purpose is of our divine plan. right? The Father will be the same way. The Father will be the same way, right? He wants you to see yourself as an equal and understand what he has already gifted you and how to operate with it, right? I didn't think it was going to last this long, but it is what it is. So having their faith, especially after their children's situation, after them having the knowledge of the gods, and just all in all, everything for what it is intense. It's an intense kind of faith that I have faith that you're going to fix things, even if nothing looks like it's changing. Right? So, people don't particularly look at the garden in that manner. And like I said, I love the fact that I've gotten a chance to have that revelation of it and how I can apply it to my daily life. Like I said, I pray for my angels. I pray to Barbello. I am still actively getting to learn the Father again, because again, my last season, it was just a lot, and I need to decipher through, sift through, and I can now see things for what it was. So now I'm getting reintroduced back to him, to see the power and authority that he's given, as well as Barbello. But it's been so important to understand, like, just because you have this knowledge does not mean you be consumed by it, right? Understand there is a divine plan at work, and it always will be. It doesn't matter. There would never be a time where a divine plan is not at work, right? Never. And like I said, you're gonna have to have faith in this divine plan, just like they got faith in that divine plan. They know for sure that would never fail, right? They're so cocky and arrogant. They know for sure that this plan will never fail. I need you to have the same kind of faith over this way, right? I need you to have that confidence, right? I need you to have that confidence. I need you to have that ego in knowing that the Mother and Father got this handled. I'm not pressed about it. It just is what it is, right? I'm not pressed. I believe in it just as much as I don't need to know your plan. I just know your plan is always to steal, kill, destroy, whatever else you can think of. Not something I care to go into. But for you, we're always going to prosper. We're always going to win. Right? So if you're going to be irritant over here in my ear, and over here, I might as well learn your ways. I might as well learn how to protect myself against you, because now I know about you, how I protect myself against you. Because you have no morals. Right? They have no morals, no bounds, right? Right. So then you got to learn how to protect yourself, point blank, period. And they're going to make sure you know how to protect yourself, point blank, period. It doesn't matter. They're going to make sure you know how to protect yourself. So don't get over here scared like, oh, this could happen. You're gonna be you're gonna be warned about it way beforehand. Right? Way beforehand. Right? So you really, really learn what it is that Christ had brought forth to you, the kind of power that was brought forth in that. And keep yourself grounded. And you keep yourself grounded by, one, keeping a relationship with the Mother. You keep a relationship with the Father. Like I said, say their names. Barbello and Adam. That's where I'm at with it. Seek Christ if you need to, in the aspect of what's the point of Christ, right? Keep looking into the Bible. Read it. Get the spiritual context and the knowledge of it. Get the knowledge of it and get the spiritual context of it, right? It's there. Right? So seek them. It shouldn't feel so dog. You should not have that much resistance against you on their being a mother. You shouldn't have that kind of resistance. I'm going to tell you what that is: spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare. That's warfare. That's on your mind. Right? Why? You can read how it doesn't particularly talk too good about women anyway. right? But the mother wants it for its knowledge, for its spiritual context. Like I said, it's still a divine text. So although she's not mentioning it but so much, and you do see her avatars in there, which is, again, you'll see Barbello, then you'll see Eve, and you'll see Mother Mary, right? Those are her avatars that's in there. She's want to continue to bring life to it. So you have to be able to do so, but you shouldn't feel anything like, oh, well, if I go over here, I'm worshiping. You're just asking questions. You're not serving her. You're literally just asking questions. And if you do get over this way on things, then what's the problem? To each his own. It's just whenever you get, whenever, you see the things for what it is, you're going to realize, like, wow, there was so much resistance against this. And yeah, there's going to be resistance against it, because it's just like, well, I can be possibly putting myself in some kind of spiritual danger or whatever. No. Like I said, understand who's in control. Understand who's in control, right? And then understand the Father, understand Adam, understand Christ, right? You read this word. The knowledge is there. That doesn't mean ignore it. Oh, and also another thing, please do not be ignorant. Do not be ignorant to the fact that you see the truth for what it is, and you are actively choosing to deny it. I'm going to deny it because that's not comfortable. No, it's not. This knowledge is not comfortable. It's not meant to make you comfortable. It's meant to make you uncomfortable. So you can go find where you're actually comfortable at. Now, if you're comfortable with being in ignorance, do not be upset when you get the consequences of being in ignorance. Get the knowledge. Get the light. Bring the spiritual aspect back to it. Do not be ignorant. Because just because you now know it, and then you can think, oh, well, I can just bypass it. No, it's there. No, it's there. And it's going to come back and bite you in the butt because you got like you want to ignore it. It's there. Don't choose to be ignorant, because that's what it's doing. You're choosing to be ignorant, to ignore whatever. Don't be afraid. Right? The enemy operates in ignorance. In the darkness. Do not put yourself in the darkness just because you don't like what the light just got exposed. Exposed. Like the light just exposed the heck out of everything. Yeah, it did. That doesn't mean you can't still find more light in that darkness. Because it'll be darkness, because now it's just like, oh my gosh, it's still light. But now let's bring a different light to it, right? So, again, I am still actively learning, going bit by bit, day by day. I think I hit all my main points about, having faith in the reality of the situation. Once that knowledge is here, it's here. But you can either dive deeper into it, because you can always seek. But it's just like, if you seek the knowledge of the darkness, you're going to continue to go in that darkness. But you can seek the knowledge of the light, and it might get dark, but there's always a light. It might get dark, but it's always a light. It might get dark, but there's always a light. You understand? It'll get dark because you now have the knowledge. It has been illuminated. But then you go seek the light, and it'll bring life to the darkness. I like that a lot. It will bring life to the darkness. Let there be light, right? Let there be light. I love it. But no, you go over here and you seek the knowledge over here, and you keep just letting it, and not bringing no light to it. You're not bringing any life to it. It's just darkness, 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 right? Same knowledge. Darkness, 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 darkness. Over here, it's like it'll get dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, like the sun and moon, right? Day and night. Allow yourself to go through it, because once you're there, then you know how to operate within it and expect the darkness whenever you get more knowledge. But you also expect the light because you went and gained that knowledge. And now you're more prepared. Right? So, again, I didn't hit my time frame on this one, but I'm about to go enjoy my day and believe in what Barbella has told me, because Barbella has told me so many beautiful, beautiful things. And I love the fact that she's helped me see the light in it. So this was also ministering to me as I was talking about it, because it's just like I'm getting all this, and now it just, I feel a little dragged down by, no, it's just going to be dark and light, day and night. Day and night, right? Day and night on it, okay? So, creation is controlling chaos, right? Creation is chaotic. Got to learn to control that chaos, okay? That doesn't mean ignore it. It's there. But control it, right? All right, so I'm about to go ahead and go. Like I said, enjoy my day. I pray this did something for someone. I pray that you now know to pray for your earth angels. You now know to pray for your angels. You now know to pray to the mother and the father. You now know that whenever you do get knowledge, it is going to be dark and it's going to be light, right? It's going to be day and night type situation. You're controlling that chaos. I pray that we all continue to seek the knowledge, right? And we continue to find a light in the knowledge. And we continue to learn about the creation of all that's out here, because we can't be in ignorance. We can't be in ignorance, right? And I really enjoyed talking about this today. And I did a little bit different because I realized last time I was like completely faced away from everything. So my bad. But like I said, if you want to follow me, I am doing my information slips is where I'm at on my YouTube, on my spiritual teachings. I think spiritual teachings is what it's under. I've got like 3 or 4 videos up there. This will probably be like my 5th, I think. But I'm going to be doing this every week, trying to do better every week. This last couple times was just literally trying to figure myself out. So I'm going to go ahead and end this off for now. And I pray that you all come over to my YouTube and enjoy knowledge. Come enjoy this knowledge. It'll get dark, but we'll bring the light right back to it. So I really love that. And I want to see and hear your kind of questions that gets to start making you ask questions to see what you bring to life as well. So in Barbella's name, I pray that you continue to guide and protect us. I thank you for all that you have done, will do, and are doing. Thank you for your knowledge. And thank you for the revelation of night and day. And thank you for your angels, as well as thank you for the Father's angels. Thank you for all you have laid out for us to ensure that, we are well taken care of and established, and we know, our power and authority in the kingdom of light, and how to fight through our spiritual warfare and to intercede on the behalf of not only ourselves, but of our angels, and also on the side of you. Pray for your Creator and Creatrix. And that's the most beautiful thing you can do. Right? Pray for them. Pray for their healing. Pray for their heart. Pray for their love. Because again, humanity, point blank, period. Right? And I pray that we are able to carry out the divine plan that is at work. Wherever you lead, I follow. And I pray that I continue to have the strength to stand beside you and voice my opinions and grow stronger in this each and every day. And I pray over my earth angels. I pray that they continue to have strength, and I pray over their situations. I pray their situations get healed and helped, and they easily defeat anything they come up against. And the same goes for my angels. I pray they easily defeat anything that comes up against them. And I pray over their hearts, minds, bodies, and their souls. And I pray that they continue to fight for the kingdom of light. And I pray that in Barbella's name. See y'all later. Bye.